Welcome to the Grab a Hole podcast. I'm your host, Justin S., and I am back in the house alongside with my co-host, Damien, who is out on his patio after we decided scheduling conflicts caused a week off, and so we are rested and ready to talk wrestling. How are you, man? How was your break?
I'm happy to be back. Actually, I got a lot to say with what's going on TV, so I'm eager to get this show going. And then
Oh,
it's like 79 degrees outside right now, beautiful weather.
dude,
So
this is that perfect time of year, Cali weather. The only reason why I'm inside is because of the fact that at the pool house, we were having issues with connection and internet problems. So I had to come back closer inside. So that's why, or else I'd be enjoying the weather myself. So
yeah,
yeah,
man.
no,
Right now, outside on the patio, I mean, football on Sundays. All I did was watch football on Sunday outside, and the weather was amazing. Like
it was perfect out there.
no
Huh?
complaints at all.
Beautiful. Um, As you know, if you are listening to us on Amazon Music or Audible, thank you. Please make sure that you hit that bell so that way you get the notifications as soon as we drop these. If you are listening and or watching on Spotify, please make sure that you hit the bell or the plus sign and leave us a review. And of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, like the majority of you do, please make sure that you subscribe and that you like and all those good things. So that way, as soon as we drop these, you get them on time, ready to go, as we have our full video catalog of the podcast ready to go for you on YouTube. It's at the Grab a Hold podcast with an underscore, excuse me, after each word except for the word podcast. All right, man. So there's been a lot that's happened in the time that we've been away. The last show that we did was the predictions for Clash in Paris with David. And for the record, I won the predictions out of the 5 matches that we predicted, because when we recorded, the 6th match hadn't been added to the tag match. And I went 4-1. But then there was a lot of things that happened coming out of that in the consecutive weeks that have followed since we didn't get a chance to record due to scheduling conflicts. So we got a lot to cover. So the first thing I want to cover, and it's important because of the relevance of what's going on with this whole year, right? The big deal has been Cena's retirement tour, and we're in the beginning of September, and we just saw John Cena have his last SmackDown appearance. To you, do you think that this is too early to do so? Or do you have a problem, I guess would be a better way to frame it, with however they're going to build him into his final 7, 8 appearances that are left this year over the next couple months?
No, I don't have a problem at all. I figure he's gonna have what, probably three or four Raw appearances, and then another three or four, PLE appearances.
Mm.
So I don't know. I pay more attention to Monday Night Raw. I mean, it is what it is.
Right,
Maybe they're just using that to use John Cena to bring up more viewership during football season. They're like, let's put him on Raw.
right.
We'll go head to head with Monday Night Football, even though they're changing their time slot. But I'm good with it. I mean, it was a good SmackDown, a good last match that he had. Continued the story of Brock into WrestlePalooza. It was in Chicago, so he's got a lot of history there. So I was good with that being his last SmackDown. I mean, guys, it's winding down. I mean, there's gonna be in a few weeks. It's gonna be his last Monday Night Raw.
Right.
Man,
Because if we're talking numbers, WrestlePalooza's 1, his Saturday night main event, which will be his final match, is 2. In between there, we have Australia, which he's already been said he'll be at. So that's 3. And then you would imagine he'll be at Survivor Series, right?
yeah,
So that's 4. So that's half of them in PLEs. So, I mean, that's not a whole lot of time for Monday Night Raw.
boy, I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything, but I am praying. I am hoping, and this might be coming out of left field, that we get a John Cena Intercontinental title match against Dominic Mysterio in San Diego.
Oh, man. I
Like,
don't know.
I wonder if that's why they didn't take the belt off of Dom and put it on AJ like they should have in France.
Right.
Like, I mean, talk about teasing him going for the Grand Slam in San Diego and a way. It's not the last match, and it's a way to maybe help put Dom over even more than he already is.
And you got to figure Dom's going to be the AAA mega champion going in.
I mean,
So,
I don't know why I was just thinking about that the other day, and I was like, he's got to be in San Diego, and that's kind of the match that I want to see.
okay.
I mean,
Well,
if you're talking about guys that he's going to put over, if he's not going to play the hits and go back and do, I think he's
AJ,
running out of
yeah.
guys that he's had history with. So why not a
AJ's the
couple
only
new
one that
guys?
you kind of scratch your head and go, man, they had great programs and great matches and they just skipped it for Brock.
Yeah, why can't they do it on Raw? Just like the way they just did Cena and Zayn. I
Yeah,
mean, do it on Monday Night Raw.
yeah. I don't understand that either, and the full circle moment for those who don't know is that Cena had a US Open challenge, and that's how Sammy made his debut on the main roster was against John. He tore up his shoulder on the entrance to that match, and that was his big debut after being in NXT for so long. So it was a full circle moment, United States Championship. They are able to bring Brock back. There's no definitive finish. It keeps John off of TV for a little bit. It gives Sammy an out for not losing the championship, and they get their moment together. Um, how did you feel about I'm gonna say how stacked things got in Chicago? That like you had Brock, you had, and we'll get to this in a minute, a returning AJ Lee. I mean, there was a lot. Punk, who's not a regular guy, but he's the hometown guy, so you know
Becky
they
and
love that.
yeah, that.
Yeah, Becky and Seth make an appearance. I mean, I felt like they stacked the shit out of SmackDown last Friday.
Well, I tell you, I understand why they have the brand splits. It's so that they can give guys an opportunity. Because
Right,
if there is no split, then you're tempted to make sure that Punk or Seth are on both shows. You want those guys on both shows, and this kind of forces
right.
you not to. But man, I mean, it's such a big deal when they have those crossover appearances, and and you can do things. I mean, I know it sucks for guys that aren't on the card, and especially now that it's 2 hours. But man, I mean, that was a loaded freaking card, like you
Yeah.
said. I mean, that takes you back to Attitude Era days.
And
Have you ever seen that clip where it was like the craziest SmackDown finish ever, and it's a bunch of different run-ins, and it's like what 10 Hall of Famers, like
yeah.
like
So that's my question then to you. Do you feel like when you see something like that, that it makes you go, they should have some people that do crossover shows because it gives do you feel, or I guess in my opinion, I should say this, to me, it gives more fluidity to storylines where you don't have to train yourself to be like, well, we got to wait now a week or 2 weeks because this has got to be drawn out on fill in the show that they're on. And instead you get what we saw, right? Like Becky makes the save for Seth at Clash, then she shows up on Raw, which is where she's at with Seth. They provoke Punk and they do the paintbrush thing, and she's, a giant asshole to him. And then you get him in Chicago on SmackDown, and it's like, we don't have to wait till Monday. We get him now. Like this makes so much more sense with a sense of urgency. I think that was part of what elevated, in my opinion, what helped elevate the Cody bloodline story is that they weren't necessarily only doing the Raw or only SmackDown setup. They would cross over from time to time and do those things, and it made it feel important. I don't think it's necessarily due to the brand split. I think that that's just the fluidity of storylines that you're not trying to go, well, this is episodic. Well, when your argument is 52 weeks a year, we do this and it's continual, to your point about, there's only, one ball to go around, that you can't get touches for everybody. I hear you, but I feel like that's what drove some of these, you know, competitive juices of sharks in the deep end, that you had to fight for that spot, not because nowadays you don't have to fight because you're afraid to lose it because everybody's got guaranteed money, but the fact that you could fight to be like, there's only so many spots on TV and some of these are crossing over on a regular basis. I got to be at my best because I want to be a part of that. Do you feel that that's true, or do you feel that that's more of a nostalgic thing on our part for things like you mentioned of how big epic moments were back then when it wasn't split like that?
yeah, I think that's more of a nostalgic thing on our part. I see. I don't know if I buy into the thought that like you have to be on your A game to guarantee yourself that TV time.
Mhm.
Because I mean, I'm a throw Karrion Cross out there for example. I mean, if he truly is gone and they release him,
Right.
you know, he was doing amazing work in his
Mhm.
promos, right? And these were promos that weren't even aired on television.
Right.
He, for whatever reason, got crowd support. The people were behind him,
Mhm.
and it didn't matter. It didn't matter unless they're like I said, unless they're planning something bigger with him. But he's gone,
Right.
right? So I don't know that it matters that you're on your A game, right? Or that you have to step up to guarantee yourself that TV time anymore. I think everybody's so talented at this point that they're just gonna kind of go with the people that they feel they want on TV, regardless of who's putting in the work or who's doing the most. Because there are
Do you
guys that we think that do more, and then we don't see them enough, or they don't
Yeah.
have good storylines for them.
Okay, so let me ask you then to follow that. We talk about stack cards and all this. Has the company as a whole become too saturated with talent? Because you have so many guys that could do a lot of things, but you don't have guys like we've talked about this a lot over the last year about, AEW and WWE and how there's tiers to this. There's mid-card guys, there's curtain jerkers, there's main event guys, there's, and girls. And these positions matter. Why do we not have more of a definitive situation with that at this point? Like, there's so much talent, you almost fumble fuck things up, right? Like, look at Penta. Penta was a huge deal coming in. He's in WrestleMania in the four-way, which Dom wins. There was a relevant reason why he was a part of weekly television. And then now he's just kind of around and kind of doing side quests, so to speak. He
You
loses a
look at
number one contender intercontinental title match, I get, which, was something that was good, but ultimately, what has he done of significance? Ray Phoenix comes in. They build him up shortly thereafter. They wind up
well,
putting him in a tag team with Andrade, and then they win to get into the match, but where have they been since? Things of that nature, because that's why I say the A game thing, because if you're gonna do it, do it. Like, you only keep the best of the best. That's why you want to be there, because it is the tippy top.
well,
And with places like TNA who are doing good television and NXT, I think, and I've said this for a little while, I don't think NXT only needs to be a developmental brand. I think it needs to be its own brand. Include them in a draft, include them in things, and mix the whole thing up and use that as like, we know that's kind of the starter brand where a lot of these people can make their debuts, but it's not it's the development baby brother brand or baby sister brand to everything.
well. So I get to your point. They're loaded with talent for sure, which means I think you just have to be patient, right, with certain guys. Like we're still sitting here waiting for Mello to get his shot on the, to get his push for, for lack of a better word, on SmackDown.
Right.
You know, we talked about Penta. He got a big push, and then they kind of put him to the back. And right now, Rusev's getting that push. Like it took a while for him to get going, and right now, seems like they're putting him in a big spot, getting wins over Sheamus, getting a win over Penta, pretty a clean win at that. I
Right.
know New Day was out there, but um, so I think you just got to be patient, and we just got to say like, well, this week we're going to get Rusev. We're going to get Rusev for the next couple of months, and Penta's going to have to kind of sit on the back burner, but he's still there when you need him.
Mhm.
Stephanie McCare was getting more screen time when she was on NXT.
Right.
On Raw. And now that she's on Raw, we're not getting her, and I firmly believe she's going to be positioned to be the next world heavyweight, women's world heavyweight champion. And that's somebody that we haven't seen on TV in a while. So
Her last appearance was last night on NXT. She's going to
yeah,
wrestle on NXT next week before she wrestles in what will be 2 months by the time we get to WrestlePalooza.
now she's gonna win. I mean, whatever. I guess they have storylines that they could tell with Io with the belt, but I mean, I think with what they're doing with her, it makes no sense for her to. She doesn't need the belt, right? Like they could do other storylines without it.
Right.
So like, I mean, you're not going to convince me. I think that Stephanie's going to win. And she hasn't been on TV, right? Julia, who I told you, I mean, she has the aura about her. And when they first called her up, she was on TV all the time, make a
Right.
champion, and she's not on TV that much. So I don't I don't know why that is, but I mean, I don't feel like they're missing star power. Like all these people that we're talking about, they're not on TV, but they just keep going, right? And they just keep filling it with other people. And so I know we get frustrated if Stephanie or Julia or Penta's our favorites, and they get kind of pushed to the back burner, and somebody else is getting a push, and we kind of may get frustrated that our guys are not there, but there's still a lot of freaking talent there, and they're still doing a lot. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Okay. Let me ask you this, and then
Long-winded way to say I don't know.
yeah. Let me ask you one more question, then we'll move on to the AJ Lee return. Do you believe that part of the problem for having as much talent as they currently do is how much fucking filler there is in these shows with ads because they're so worried about ad revenue that maybe that's what we should be more frustrated about is the fact that you have the time to put on more than 4 matches on SmackDown in 2 hours because those matches aren't all going 30 minutes. But the fact that you're only getting 4 matches on SmackDown and the rest is filler, don't get me wrong. I understand that some of that includes promos and vignettes and things of that nature, but by and large, the ad revenue that they gain has clearly been the focal point since they decided, you know what, we can just slap a name on anything from ring posts to tables to everything else in between, and we'll just go ahead and read their ad in the show. We'll go ahead and put it over here. We'll have Big E and Jey Uso do a commercial for Rocket Mortgage. We'll have Charlotte Flair do one for Cricket. And we have to see all these all at the same time in a show when that could be time for some of those guys or girls that are on the back burner to get, their 10 minutes or 12 minutes or whatever it is on that week's show. Do you feel like that's accurate, or do you just feel like it's just overall that that's part of the game and so patience is going to be the key?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they do waste a lot of time, like, on ads, you're right about that. I know I feel like when I'm watching a PLE, for example, I feel like it's like 20 minutes in between matches. I feel
Right.
like the match ends, and it's like 10 minutes of commercials, and then we get, because we don't get to, here in the US, we don't get to see the packages. I don't pay for the commercial-free Peacock. I
Version.
don't know if I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to worry about that anymore, but and then it's like 10 minutes worth of entrances, and then
Right.
and then they have a match, and so it's like really slow. I feel like they could squeeze more things in. I mean, they did a 5 match, 2 hour Saturday night's main event once recently,
Right.
like, so they could if they just cut shit out, but then they got to do, promos and backstage segments to push storylines forward. I really feel like what they should do is have add a television show, add a or make it more visible, right? Like their main event show,
Mhm.
where they just have matches for for the sake of having matches, but promote it so that we see it more often, or like it's
Kinda
easier
like
to
how like
watch.
Superstar Challenge used to be. It was just
Yeah, like,
matches.
just have matches, right? Just have a Todd Pettengill, whatever, introduce a match, and
Right.
then just show it, even if it's not live. If you're a pure wrestling fan and you just want to see
You'll
wrestling,
watch. Yeah.
you'll watch, right? So people like then that's not for everybody. People like
To be
me,
fair, most guys aren't watching it live anyway. Like, there's a
I'm
lot of people that go back and watch it to skip the ads, or they're not home now, especially football season, right? There's gonna be a conflict there. Like,
yeah,
I gotta make a decision next week. My Raiders are playing on Monday night.
watch
So,
wrestling. You're not going to want to watch that mess, are you?
it might be ugly, I'm not gonna lie. Um, but that being said, like, to your point, that, there's a lot of people that would, I would imagine, wanna watch that because they don't necessarily watch everything live anyway.
I rarely watch anything live. I know I can't watch SmackDown live. I have to wait till 8 p.m. Western time, which
Right,
is already on tape delay, and then I watch that Saturday morning.
right,
PLEs, I mean, PLEs are about the only thing I watch live unless I intentionally don't, or I don't watch it, or I intentionally say like I avoid all spoilers and I'm going to watch it
right.
when I get home from something, especially on a Saturday night. I mean, you know how that goes. I mean, well, you have a little kid, so you probably stay home on Saturday nights more often than I do.
Yeah, no, that's
Like
for
we're
sure.
we're at the point we're almost empty nesters here. Our kids are grown up, they're self sufficient. Saturday
Yeah,
night rolls around, where are we going? What are we doing?
yeah,
We have nothing holding us back. Um, so I don't watch live, but I rarely watch anything live. Monday Night Raw is going to start airing at 4 o'clock. I don't get home till 4:30.
right.
Which is fine by me because I can. Which is weird on Netflix. Sometimes I can fast forward through commercials, and sometimes I can't. I don't understand how Netflix doesn't that straightened out. So
Right.
anyway,
Well, let's move on to the AJ Lee return. We saw Becky save Seth at the Clash in Paris. She would come out paintbrush punk. He would say, I don't put my hands on a woman, but you're going to regret this. And then on SmackDown, it would come to the point where it would be like, hey, I told you. And she tries to do it again. And he says, I warned you. And now I have somebody. And he named people like Rhea and Roxanne Perez and stuff like that. And then, lo and behold, sure enough, it was his wife. After 10 years, she's back, and that place came about as unglued as they do for him in Chicago. Um,
worst kept secret in wrestling.
yeah, that's right.
It's-
Um,
we always say this. They telegraph the shit out of it, but if it's done right, it's still a great
it's
moment.
okay. Well, did
It
you
doesn't.
see that the merch people fucked it up?
Yeah, but I mean,
Joey?
we knew that's where they were going. I mean,
Still, I mean,
we knew that's where they were going.
you could be like, if somebody's asking, because the quote online was, hey, I don't have any AJ Lee merch to wear. And they were like, well, we'll have some, blah, 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 versus, hey, if you're just patient, maybe wait around and see what happens. Like, you give us that instead of being like, hey, check out the stand in the south section of the arena over here in the breezeway on section 225. Like,
Yeah,
what
I
can
was
we do?
hoping. I was hoping for some sort of a swerve where, like, I don't know whose music could have hit where, like, he just enlisted the help of somebody, right?
That
Where he was
to me, I think it'd have
backstage,
been
maybe
fun.
I would have liked for him to be backstage talking to a Chin or whoever,
Right,
right? Talking about it, and she's like, "Okay," just to kind of make us think, "No way, is that the girl that's going to help him?"
right,
And then maybe, and then that's when AJ Lee's music hits and gives us a little bit of a swerve.
right.
But I mean, come on. I mean, I think WWE knew when they started teasing it that there was absolutely nothing that they could do that wouldn't be a disappointment if it wasn't AJ Lee. Like they could have
Yeah,
brought Rhea in, and you're like, "Oh shit, Rhea and Punk." That looks like a good tag team to go up against Seth and Becky, but
right.
it would have been a disappointment no matter what.
It would have still not been her.
Yeah.
Um, do you feel like this is a good idea for I mean, obviously, we know this. David brought this up during predictions that they wanna load up the first ESPN card with WrestlePalooza. Do you feel like this should be all smashed together on that card with Brock and John and a returning Cody is what Hunter spoiled on the Pat McAfee show
Oh yeah.
yesterday?
Um, I don't. Is he going up against Drew?
They
Is that
didn't
what he
say that
announced?
he's fighting, he just said
That he's
returning.
returning? Oh, um, at first I felt like it might be rushed, right? But I don't feel like the story that they're telling has been rushed. I feel like the timing of it, like they said, with the extra SmackDown and then showing up on Raw this
Right,
Monday night, allowed them to get to where they wanted to get without feeling like it was too fast or too drawn out.
right.
It feels perfect. Like you almost kind of expect them to draw it out to like Survivor Series, right?
Yeah,
Because that's just kind of what they've been doing. They like these big stories. They like to draw them out. I don't
right.
know, man. It feels perfect. The card is pretty stacked, with what they're doing. But
Do you
I
feel
like it.
do you
I
feel
like
that
it.
that way for the fact that of what her promo was? That it was
What do you mean?
about like, so when Punk introduces her, the obvious story is that he wants to kick the shit out of Seth, but Becky's the one that's getting in his way, right?
Yeah.
So there's somebody that's gotta be dealing with Becky. Everybody expects it to be AJ, you get AJ. Simple
Right.
enough story that tells itself in that way. So how do you build it for 2.5 to 3 more weeks and you go, okay, so how is she going to come out in her first appearance? Like she gets physical, right? With Becky, we see that she does double legs her, gets on top. So you go, okay, she's going to be in Milwaukee on Monday. So what do you have her talk about? And her doing the promo that she did, explaining what she did when she was away, not dissimilar to Punk's promo and when he returned to wrestling. Even in AEW, talking about I had to get healthy and I had to do things differently, and this is why I was away and you guys wanted me to come back. I felt like for somebody who's been away for 10 fucking years, she did a phenomenal job of making me care about now and explaining where she's been to people who don't know. So to your point about it feels good time-wise, I think that's why. It doesn't feel like we're getting, okay, the obvious story is here, but we're also getting, I'm going to beat you up. No, I'm going to beat you up. And then, well, what do you say after that? Well, next week, I'm going to beat you up again. Just wait till I see you.
Right.
It
Well, you kind of
tell this whole thing.
I kind of, originally I kind of expected her to make her return at WrestlePalooza, where they did something else, not
W
necessarily a
a fuck
one-on-one
with
match,
Punk? Yeah.
but maybe a tag where they did. I expected honestly a six-man tag with
Mhm.
the Vision and then Punk and Jay and like LA Knight against them, and then Becky interferes again, and that's when AJ came to make the save and even things up.
Right.
That's kind of what I was envisioning, but this is way better the way that they're doing it. I
Mhm.
love the mixed tag team match. AJ looks great.
Yeah.
You for I forgot. I mean, I knew she was good, but based on her promo on Monday, like I forgot how fucking good she was. Like
Yeah.
she was a natural. She hasn't done this for 10 years. And it's not like somebody that was like going around on podcasts talking about this stuff. Like
Right.
she wrote her book, was there to support her husband, through the UFC shit, AEW shit, didn't really like do a whole lot. And
Right.
she showed up and she gave a great promo. Um, Made you really care about it. Like you said, the promo package that they played right before her was awesome.
Mhm.
And then she comes out and does her promo in the middle of the ring, and she knocked it out of the park. And she, did her little back and forth. I mean, her character lends itself very well to go against what Becky's character is,
Right.
because Becky's so fast and quick-witted, but AJ Lee is way more like deliberate in her
Mhm.
delivery, that it's almost perfect. Where if Becky says something like one of those gotcha moments where she got Nikki Bella,
Yeah.
I think AJ, the way that is used to delivering, can take her time, think about it for a second, and then retort, and it comes off really well. So
And
I think they did a good job on Monday night, man.
I think so too, and I think too, like, she can with this character, whether you wanna say it's her turned up or whatever, like, she's somebody who the way that she words things and the way she presented them on Monday was perfect. It was, "Hey, I'm back," but it was also, "I'm your wrestler's favorite wrestler. Let me explain to you why your parents went ballistic when I showed up." Like,
Yeah.
that's phenomenal just to kinda pull on because the target audience is kids, right? Like, that's the kids love the whole Yeet thing. They love singing Cody's song. So to explain to the younger audience, "This is who I am. This is why I'm important," and then turn around and still have, like you said, the quick-wittedness to match Becky for the adults in the room that do recognize her or do recognize those quick-witted short jab comments. Like, I felt it was just really well done and really well-rounded.
Yeah, yeah, and then her music and her appearance still kind of appeals to the younger audience. Like, I don't think it's gonna
Yeah.
be difficult for little kids to be into her character, into
Right.
her. I do like the fact that she mentioned that she was wearing shorts 2 sizes too small, and she was wearing the John Cena jorts on
Yeah.
on Monday. I was like, "Oh, man."
Hey, those abs, bro, like, jealous.
Dude,
Jealous that you can be she's in
not just
our
the
age
abs,
bracket.
but the quads looked
Bro,
hella, they
she's
were
in our
toned, like.
age group.
Yeah, she's in her age. She looks like she's 30, like,
Yeah.
she looks like she's in her late 20s, early 30s. I mean,
Is that
credit
hey,
to
is that
her. Even Punk.
dude, is that what therapy does? Do we need to go to therapy?
I think therapy and the ability to just hit the gym all the time,
Yeah, that would
might
be
be the way
nice
to go.
to have that kinda
Not
time.
say not saying she doesn't work, but
Yeah, yeah.
she has
No,
a
for
different
sure.
kind of work where she doesn't have to clock in and do a 9 to 5.
That's right. You mentioned what you thought was a possibility of a six-man naming Jey Uso. We saw Jey Uso and Big Jim come back together for at least momentarily, and in this show, we had seen previously that at, the build up to Clash in Paris, that Jay got advice from Roman that the only person he can trust is himself and family, and then he kicked Punk on the go home show. And so Punk gets him back in the match. And then we see LA Knight come out and get involved with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. And we see the Usos there and they get involved. And ultimately, in the finish of all this, LA Knight makes the save for Big Jim. And Jay kicks him in the, and, or excuse me, spears him as the wrap up of Raw happens. Because earlier in the night, he moved out of the way to not get splashed and he and Jay ate it from Bronson Reed. So are we seeing Jey Uso somewhat turn? Or are we seeing Jey Uso in the minimum of this on as far as in the scope of things becoming because everybody's saying, well, it's a mimic of Roman. Look what he's doing. Is he coming into the tribal chief era of Jey Uso at this point?
Yeah, I hope it's not a heel turn because I hate the idea that you have to turn heel to get to that next level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they got WWE right now, especially. I mean, Cody Rhodes aside, everybody almost has to be a heel champion to be an effective champion. It's like
Mhm.
they don't know how to tell a good story with the face champion.
Right.
Um, so like I get why they took the title off of him so quickly. They wanted to do the Goldberg thing, but a little bit was like it wasn't really working with him as that
Yeah.
just happy face, right? Like there was no depth to that character. So they're trying to find it, and I hope the depth isn't just turning him heel.
Mhm.
I hope it's just doing a Roman like character right now where he's a face, but he does heel things,
Mhm.
or he kind of like he kind of has that wants that heel control.
Right.
So I'm curious to see where they go. I just hope it doesn't turn into a full heel move.
Right.
I just hope it turns into a more serious character with depth
I was
who.
gonna ask, do you feel like a tweet? Because I don't see how you do a heel Jey Uso with all the Yeet stuff. Like, they're
I
gonna
mean,
do it.
he's just gonna have to like talk shit about kids, right? Like John Cena
Well,
did in
he
order
they're
to get
gonna have
there.
to change his music if
Yeah,
he
they'd have to
goes like
change his music.
because that's right, a heel's taking away with the things you like, the song fits the dance.
Does he stop coming in through the crowd? Like they could keep the music, but I mean, does he stop coming in through the crowd to kind of make himself a little more serious, a little bit more of a tweener? And that's kind of
I
like
mean,
the big thing. And then,
yeah, I would think so. I
uh,
mean,
you know, um,
to
especially if
me
he wants to be a more serious
yeah,
character who's.
yeah. To me, he looks
So
happy to be there. It's the, "Oh, I'm part of the team," type good guy right now, and that's not working for him.
yeah, that doesn't really that kind of a character doesn't really fly anymore.
Mm-mm.
We want guys like who was it? I mean, I guess the Ultimate Warrior was always that guy, just energy and not really a whole lot of depth, just run out there and pop everybody, and that could have gone on forever down there
Okay,
or
well,
back
let
in
me
that
ask you
era, but
this.
not anymore.
Speaking of that, let me ask you this about him. Do you feel, or is it just me, that I feel like his character investment from me as a fan peaked when you had Gunther beat the shit out of his brother, and the seriousness that, like, the horror of watching his brother covered in blood from Gunther, and then the seriousness you saw that followed that. Was that to you as a fan like it was for me, that it was like, I could see this guy being world champion now? It's not just because he's over, it's because I take him seriously that he wants to
No,
beat the shit out of that guy. And that's what he's got to do this, because that's what that's about. Like, explaining that he had to tell his mom what, that he didn't have his brother's back like that, that happened. He let that happen. That, to me, that made a lot of sense in the seriousness of it. Does it have to be that serious now? No. But to me, that's what made me care about him. Not just like, to me, the eating thing is a kid thing. That's a sing along thing. That's not a reason to
well,
invest in him.
it's fun though. I mean, I will say I remember when it first started becoming a thing where I think you remember me saying like, "Holy shit, this guy's fucking over." Like he's got the
Yeah.
entire crowd doing the hand movement to the yeeting,
Right.
and that was before they I think were ready to pull the trigger on him to win the Royal Rumble and be world heavyweight champion. So his he's a really good character, a good actor, right? The stuff with Roman and
Mhm.
the breakup with the bloodline, like he was at the forefront of all that, right?
Right.
And the inner turmoil that he had in that one steel what was it? Just I think he was the main guy in the forefront of that
Right.
bloodline split,
He was
right?
a catalyst
And
for that. Yeah.
he was a catalyst, and he did great there, right? And that was a serious character that he was playing.
Right.
And then the Yeet stuff got him just over to the point to where he's like a made man now. He can do no wrong. So I think they went as far with that as they could with his character there. I mean, he could keep doing that for another year, I guess, and then we'll all get bored with it and start moving on
Right.
that eventually. So I think better now than ever, like to start changing it up and to do something more serious with that. But hopefully not turn him because him and Jay
Right.
just got back together, or him and Jimmy just got back together. I'd hate for
Yeah,
them to
yeah.
get back together just for them to like go their separate ways.
Right.
I'd like
No,
for
that
them to
makes
be a
sense.
badass, queen or tag team who are who are doing things for their family, especially with Jimmy. Like he could convince Jimmy, like, hey, you got a kid on the way, man.
Yeah.
Like we can't be fucking around all the time, like and partying like we want to. Like we
Yeah,
gotta,
like, yeah, it
you
needs to be
know,
serious.
we need to be serious and make money for our family, kind of thing. The way
That
Roman always
bird's
talks about.
serious right now, bro. He wants to let you know he gotta get his 2
I
cents in.
know he's yeeting back there.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah,
The bird version of eating?
the
Uh,
Cocoa Beware is up into my tree somewhere.
wha damn, now I can't think of the bird's name. Uh, Damn it. Frankie. It was Frankie. Um, Speaking of things to take serious, it would get first initially put out on social media that AJ Styles, before the entrance of his opponent last night, or Monday night rather, he would talk to the crowd and talk about how nobody has his back anymore at all, because Gallows and Anderson aren't there. Meechin's on SmackDown, so he's by himself for the first time, and that he seemingly put it out there that, hey, you know, somebody's out here that's out to get rid of me, that they don't like me, that they don't want to see me win, and they're making it harder and harder. Um, and he fought El Grande, and they had a great match. The finishing sequence I thought was really cool. The flip into the roll into the clash was super dope. Um, but then the thing that caught me, and I'm sure it caught your attention too, because this is something you have an eye for, it got posted by WWE on social media. So to me, one of two things happens. Either they went, oh shit, people are grabbing this during the show, or this has been part of the thing the whole they were like, here, go tell them something, and then we'll post it on social, and then we'll say this was during the commercial break, and you're mad.
It was very carrying cross of them to do
Yes.
a promo off TV and then they get posted on social and become something.
Yeah. He recently also posted a hourglass with his logo slipping as if pointing
Yeah.
to retirement. How do you feel about what they did on Monday? And how do you feel about where he's headed with retirement and what you think that should look like if they are, in fact, headed that direction over the next year or so?
Yeah, well, I mean, I know we've known that he signed a 1-year deal with WWE, and I
Yeah.
think the recent reports are that it ends like after the Royal Rumble sometime in February.
Right.
I would venture to guess if this is his final year with the company that it's going to extend into WrestleMania. I don't know. I just would imagine that he would love to have his last match at WrestleMania. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be a retirement match. Maybe just a feud ends and then he comes out, or and then he just calls it.
Right.
Um, I'm really curious with what they're doing. I like that they're teasing, his retirement. I
Mhm.
mean, the only thing is it's just right on the heels of John Cena,
Right.
having a retirement tour. So I don't know if he's exactly going to get a retirement tour like that. But this is why I think I like it, because now he's not retiring, he's being pushed out of the company by somebody,
Right.
right? It's not a retirement, he's being kicked out, they don't want him there, so now he's gotta fight for his spot
Mhm.
and should prove that he belongs there and wants to, I don't imagine Triple H is the guy that's
Pushing
gonna
him out.
come,
Yeah.
that's gonna push him out. I wonder if it's like a Bruce Pritchard type,
Mhm.
who could do a character, do some character work on TV.
Right.
I don't imagine they go to the Abyss route. What's his name?
Chris Parks.
Chris Parks, who's a booker backstage,
Right.
and has like some influence now because or who's a
He's
producer
a
back there,
producer. Yeah.
a producer. Even though they have history in TNA. So I'm curious to see who the guy that doesn't want him there is, or who the people that don't want him there is,
Right.
are. I don't know. So I'm really curious. Who could it be? I mean, who doesn't want him there? Who's in charge? Who's in a position of authority within the company that doesn't want him around, that they could
Right.
tell a story with? Maybe it's Regal, William Regal.
Mm.
I
Okay.
don't know.
I'm interested if they do something solid with it. To me, I mean, he needs something that like they should have put the title on him in France, the Intercontinental Championship. That should have happened, especially if you plan on Dom winning the AAA Championship next week. Um, Dom doesn't need the Intercontinental title anymore. It was good for his
He,
first championship win, but he's somewhat outgrown it.
well, he does for the match I want.
Well, well, yes, but to me, you can go, okay, look, I feel like you could do that match even without it, but with that in mind, like, you should have put it on him in France. The people would have went nuts. Even if you gave it right back to Dom
Like,
on Raw.
why don't they do that? Why don't they let him have his? That makes zero sense. Like literally nothing happens negative if AJ wins in France. They have their rematch on Raw or the next week, right?
Yeah,
Because that was a Monday Night Raw match. They have their rematch next week. Judgment Day helps Dom win, and he's the champion again.
yeah,
And now AJ's pissed off, saying they don't want me on top. He could literally do the exact same promo he just did
right,
with that series of events. And I
yeah,
don't know why they wouldn't just give him that moment.
right,
Same thing, and I get Roman Reigns had his reign and they didn't want to interrupt his championship reign. Why not give Drew McIntyre his moment? You know
mhm,
what I mean? And then drop it back. They did it with Kane. They did it with Kane.
yeah,
You know, he beat Steve Austin and then he dropped it right back the next night. Like, why not? Like, no harm, no foul. Now you have Kane, who's a former world heavyweight champion,
right.
to put on his resume. Like,
True.
I don't know why they don't do that anymore. I don't. Maybe there's something about just having the title go back and forth, but they did it with Braun Breaker. Why not do it? Why not do it here?
Yeah. We talked about Dom. Dom and the Judgment Day seem to be having some friction due to his involvement with El Grande. El Grande is now becoming a lot like Viano from WCW. Is it Viano 4? Is it Viano 5? Do we now have El Grande 2 and El Grande 3? Um, to you, do you feel like it would be a wise move to split from Dom and the Judgment Day and let him do his own thing, and then a returning Liv is trying to put the pieces back together? Because I don't know how many people paid much attention to this, but it was Roxanne who was sent to go take care of him when he got mad and walked out and said that they hadn't had his back, and that's why he had to go with El Grande and talk to him so much, because it was about the championship, and it was Roxanne that went to console him in that moment. Do you feel like they're pushing towards him breaking away from them in that split? Or do you feel like this is just a bump in the road and that, he's going to be the champion and it'll kind of work itself out and they'll wind up doing something with El Grande differently as it goes?
Yeah, I think I really don't know what the hell they're doing with him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what they want to do with him long term. I still feel like he's the right guy to win the Royal Rumble. Um, they never seem to push or say go at the right time. Even
Mm,
like with Jay, I felt like it was a little late. Like they could have done it something sooner, but I think it was because of the long delay. But between the Rumble and Mania, I was like, oh, here, it was a long wait.
yeah,
Anyway, with Dom, I don't really know what they're trying to do. Is he going to go win? I think they should let him have him run AAA. I mean, he's
yeah,
over his shit over there. He's a face. Let him go over there and be a face, and then he could come back like a conquering hero and be, a face when he comes back.
yeah,
Maybe not necessarily kick him out of the Judgment Day, but tell him I'm going to go away. I'm going to go do my own thing
yeah,
over here for a while, and then wait for Liv to come back and see what they do with him there.
right,
I mean, they could do a lot with him in AAA as the king of the luchadors, right? Like,
right,
and they're putting their stuff on TV. They could show highlights of his matches. Like, they could keep him really relevant
mhm,
and also promote the hell out of their new company that they just bought.
right,
So, and as far as the Grande Americano thing, I mean, you got him, and then where are the other guys at? Like, they show them and then they never come around. Like, I would love to have them do like I would even do twin magic kind of shit and like
yeah,
switch out in the middle of a match with six
the
foot
old
four
dink and
literally Kaiser
doink,
with 6'4" Kaiser and like 5'8" done and
yeah,
what's the other dude.
yeah,
But I mean, I wish they would do more with the Judgment Day. I wish they would do more with Balor and McDonough as far as being involved higher on the card with like
yeah.
higher level wrestlers. Like I'm ready to see them like do stuff with the Usos and Bronze
Well, the tag team division
and
is
those kinds of.
non-existent. I mean, you have tag teams, but you got the War Raiders doing six-man tags. The New Day are not doing they're fighting individual matches. They're not actually doing tag team shit.
Boy, they
Then you
really
got the
fucked up the New
champs who
Day
are just
shit.
a ghost. Yeah. The championships are there, but McDonough didn't and Finn didn't even fight this week. Like, not even in
Yeah, I
singles
mean,
matches.
I'm still waiting. I was expecting. I thought, oh, they're gonna do Penta with the Viking or with the War Raiders
Yeah.
against who was it? Who they wrestled? They wrestled the New Day and Austin and
Grayson
Waller.
Waller. Yeah.
I really thought Andrade and Phoenix were coming over to Raw to help them out.
Right.
Like six, like let's see all three of those guys together against the New Day and Waller, and like you're talking, something now, and then maybe you bring in the Grande Americanos, and then they have some sort of a 6-man feud there as well. I don't know,
Right.
man. Like I'm
Would you
just
rather see speaking of Phoenix, would you rather see Penta and Phoenix debut as a tag team on behalf of the WWE in AAA first or on WWE television first?
on WWE television first. I'm still of the mindset that Penta's outnumbered somewhere.
Mm,
Needs somebody to come to his rescue, and it's his brother that comes to his rescue, and that's how
right.
they unite.
Fair
So
enough. Well,
either that,
they
and I'm
have
ready to even like an Andrade type. Maybe that's the other way around. Like 'cause Andrade to me, I think he works so great as a heel, or maybe
yeah,
he does some sort of a turn on Phoenix, and
right,
that kind of makes Penta show up and to save his brother. And Andrade now, teams up with somebody else, and they do
right.
some sort of a heel team.
No, that's fair.
I don't know. They got a lot of options there. I mean, but as it just feels like they're kind of in a stalemate right now. Like they're just kind of like we talked about earlier, just kind of so much talent. That's not really a story that they're pushing right now.
Yeah. Well, let's talk some ladies before we get to the end here. We see another situation where Nikki Bella's talking to somebody. In this case, it was EO and why Stephanie Vaquer was not there on Monday. And even though she would show up on Tuesday, and you would see Asuka and Kyrie and they're talking, and then Asuka tells Nikki she has no respect for her, and they do the walk-off bit where Asuka leaves after challenging Nikki, and Kyrie stays to talk, and then she yells for Kyrie again. So now we have an abusive heel of a partner in Asuka, and they're trying to talk to EO and bring her in. Um, and then Rhea got involved to stand up to Asuka about why EO was getting the championship match and not her. Rhea was another one that showed up on NXT with Tiffany Stratton to set up a six-man or six-woman match for next week against Fatal Influence with JC Jane. How do you feel about what they're doing with Asuka and Kyrie, and then how it played into the fact that they didn't do the contract signing with Stephanie and Io, but Stephanie shows up on NXT for no reason other than to do a fun six-man, basically all-star team of Rhea, her, and Tiffany?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Stephanie McCare not being on TV is weird to me. I mean,
Mm,
she's got a world championship match. I mean, do a backstage promo, a backstage interview, right? Where
yeah.
maybe she can. scripted, it's planned. They can be real careful with what she says and make her look really good.
Right.
Um, and then, but I love the stuff with Asuka, man. I mean, Asuka's so good, man, and like unhinged, crazy. Just Asuka is awesome. So I'm definitely looking forward to see what they do there. Like I said, that's why I don't think Io's winning the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't think they need that. I think actually they're probably going to cost her the match,
Yeah.
to set some, maybe accidentally or not accidentally.
Right.
So
AOP.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. So with what they're doing with Oscar, I like it. I like Kyrie being torn. They're finally getting to the point where they're doing a good job of storytelling with the women and
Right.
not having to use the titles as vehicles to tell the story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just so happens though that now they can't use the main world heavyweight title to tell a story.
Yeah.
It's just weird. They can't put it all together. But I like what they're
Well,
doing with, Becky's an intercontinental champion, but her story's not about the title. She
right.
just has it. And then the women, Asuka and Io and Rhea, they're doing stuff without the title. So they're finally getting to that point where they're telling stories with the women, and it's not just about who's the number one contender and everybody
Is
else
it
is on the back
as
burner.
crazy to you as it is to me the fact that, like you said, the world's title is vacant for the women on Raw, but Tiffany's done little to nothing on SmackDown?
Yeah, I don't know why they kept the title off of Jade because her carrying it could have at least been something. She doesn't have to wrestle, but Jade's over there or Tiffany's over there not wrestling either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wonder what was going on there. But obviously, I mean, they're missing Bianca, but she's
Yeah.
gonna come back and do what? Just go and beat Tiffany for the title and and keep it
Now she
moving.
runs the show?
So I don't know what's going on over there. It is weird. Like they're not doing a good job of storytelling over there on
Is it
SmackDown with the women.
Is it just me, or do they kind of flip-flop, right? There was a stretch of time on SmackDown where they were killing it with the women's stories. They were main eventing the show. The relevance of the women's WWE championship was a big deal when it was Tiffany and Nia, and you had all this stuff going on with the possible cash in, and you had Bianca's story going with Naomi, and all this stuff was going on good. But Raw seemed to be the one that was missing something. Now you have good storytelling going on, or at least the opportunity to have good storytelling being told because they're putting people in positions to tell good stories. But on SmackDown now it's faded. It's like they can't get them both going at the same time.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was like almost as soon as Naomi cashed in on Raw on the Raw champion, that they kind of lost footing with what they were doing with the women over on SmackDown. Because I
Right,
think we were all of the opinion that Naomi was cashing in on Jade winning after Jade won at
right.
SummerSlam, right? And then that would continue that division
That
going,
next step,
and
yeah,
then maybe Tiffany and Nia fell into something. But ever since they just decided to put Naomi on Raw and just kind of totally blow everything up over there, they haven't been able to get their footing back. So
right,
I don't know if they're just waiting for Bianca to come back. Um, Maybe they'll continue some sort of a story there with her and Jade, and then kind of attached to what happened with her and Naomi.
right.
Um, but I mean, at this point, it almost feels like Tiffany's like a lame duck champion. We're just waiting for somebody to take the title off her and do
Yeah,
something interesting with it.
I agree. How do you feel about them being on NXT last night for this random six-person tag?
Yeah, I mean, aren't they? Well, I know that Mello made his way back too, right? I didn't watch
Yeah.
NXT, but I saw that Mello was
DIY
another. Is
showed up,
there?
Mello showed up. I mean, they stacked it up pretty well.
I mean, does the network that NXT is on, do they have some sort of a clause in their deal that says like, hey, every once in a while, send some big names down here so that we can get some more viewers or something? Like, I mean,
No, the CW network.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, like there it was just random, right? That all these people
Mhm.
started showing up. Or are they promoting some sort of a show?
I mean, it's labeled as like Heatwave, NXT Heatwave, but it's still the weekly show. It's not like a PLE for them.
Oh, okay. So I mean, I don't know. I don't have a problem with this. Show up, have some like that might be that moment where hey, go down there and have some fun matches
Yeah,
and bring some eyeballs to those
to
wrestlers
those
down there. So
people.
I don't have a problem with it. I don't really have a problem ever with. They could be telling any storyline on the main roster, and if one of those guys on the main roster decides to show up on NXT just for like a one-off, even if it doesn't have any kind of continuity, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I kind of like NXT being its own little universe
Own
outside of the.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, is there anything over these last 2 weeks that we didn't touch on as highlights that you wanted to touch on?
I mean, not really. I'm just like you said. Cody's been gone filming. He hasn't even been doing anything. So him showing up on I mean, it makes sense that it would be at WrestlePalooza, maybe to set up the future with McIntyre, like you said, not necessarily wrestling.
Right.
But if he's there, I imagine McIntyre is going to be there next, following him. So um, that, I mean, I'm curious. I didn't pay attention to the bloodline stuff. I mean, are they doing some sort of a hard reset with the solo and the family tree and Jacob? Like I haven't seen him.
They just really haven't been on TV.
Yeah. So
There hasn't been a real reasoning. Since Solo lost the US title to Sammy, there hasn't been
I mean, was
really
there
anything there.
something? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That just all seemed like that just ended abruptly. Like
Yeah,
they must have not have been happy with the direction that storyline was going, so they just decided to end it abruptly and give Sammy the U.S. title and go in a different direction.
right,
Because now, so without Solo, without that U.S. title, or they're kind of just doing nothing.
right. Well, the one thing I wanted to bring up at the end here, for those who don't know, was this week was your birthday. So, how do you feel? Obviously, happy birthday, 41.
Thank you, thank you.
Uh, did you do anything fun? Did you have any plans, or is that more for like this weekend? Like,
Nah, man. I mean, I'm in the middle of school year. Friday night was high school football game. Saturday night, I was over at my brother-in-law's house, and my cousin was there. We were watching some college football, Washington State, San Diego State. Those who don't, I grew up in Washington. I went to Washington State for a couple of years,
right,
so I've always been a Washington State fan. And we beat those Aztecs, so that was always good. I went out, had a few drinks, but then came home, and Sunday just kind of went to breakfast with the family and watched football all day. I will say, I mean, I've been hitting the gym. I've been going to the gym.
right,
You can't tell really on camera right now because it adds 10 pounds, but I went to the gym on my birthday, man. I didn't want to change routine. I came home from work. Uh, I actually fell asleep, took a little nap, um, and then I woke up and I went to the gym, and I was at the gym for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours one day.
nice.
So just business as usual.
There you go.
I'm getting old, man, so I got to make sure I'm at least working out and
Is it just
doing that.
my social media algorithm, or does your family have a lot of birthdays next to each other?
A lot of birthdays, man. My mom and I share the same birthday. My sister's birthday's today. I have a lot of cousins. My brother who passed away in 2019, his birthday was August 28th. So it's all like August 28th, September 8th, September 8th, September 10th. David's birthday's coming up here in a couple
Right.
days.
Yep.
I have a lot of cousins also. Like I've had three cousins who had birthdays before mine. I have three more cousins who have birthdays coming up next week, and then a couple more at the end of the month. Like September is a busy month for my family. So
Shit.
January was a busy month for my family.
Well, shout out happy birthday to your sister and happy birthday to Mama Marquez. Um, that's the end of
She's a real MVP for giving birth to a legend on her 18th birthday.
that's the end of September for me. We got my son's birthday, my mom's birthday's the next day, and my anniversary is the day after that. So 3 in a row, back to back to back at the end of September. So
Yeah, I mean this
and
weekend should be a good one. Who do you got? Crawford or Canelo?
oh man, Canelo. I got Canelo. I like that this is a real fight. That it's not just like, oh, well, Crawford's gonna he's gonna take a dive or he'll be bad and Canelo's just gonna whip the shit out of him. If he does, it's because Canelo's the better fighter and Crawford tries.
Yeah,
It's not because he sucks.
it's just typical boxing that the universe that it just doesn't always line up. Right? We got 38-year-old Bud Crawford. I don't want to take it. He's 38. He's not 32, 33 years old. Going up
Yeah,
against what 33, 34-year-old Canelo, moving way up in weight. Moving up what 20 pounds in weight to go fight Canelo. Um, it's the biggest fight they can make in boxing.
right,
Um, but it's also not a natural fight, right? It's not a natural rivalry. They've asked Canelo like, what do you think of Bud, or what he thought about fighting Bud Crawford. He's like, I never even thought about it. I never even thought it was a possibility.
right,
You know what I mean? So that's one of the things. Like the build hasn't been there. They did the Pacquiao Mayweather build for like forever, and then they
right.
just waited way too long. But that was actually something that made sense, right? They were in the same weight class, and
Yeah,
they crossed paths toward the end of their career. Mayweather was smart enough to wait long enough for Pacquiao to be past his prime to have that
right,
fight. But it's just very rare that you get a uh you know I guess going back to my youth, Julio Cesar Chavez, Hector Macho Camacho fight.
Mhm.
where you have two undefeated fighters in the middle of their primes going at it, and it's a big deal.
Right.
Usually, I mean, we get guys who are coming up fighting the aging champion or whatever, right? We don't really get this kind of a fight. I mean, it's still not a perfect fight, but it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. I think Canelo's size and counter punching is going to be too much. I think he wears him out with the body shots and probably you know how these things go though. Sometimes it's going to be a 12-round decision.
Right.
Then
Fair.
Canelo's the money, right? If any, I mean, no disrespect to Bud, but if you're investing in a fighter, anything close is going to go his way,
That yeah. You know that the A side's Canelo.
unless there's a rematch clause.
Ooh,
I don't
interesting.
know.
Could be.
Because what's
Well,
next? What's next? What's next for
uh,
Canelo?
as
Jake Paul? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
well, it should be a fun weekend. We got Canelo and Crawford this weekend, and then next week we will have the setup for WrestlePalooza with Worlds Collide as well this next weekend. So predictions next week. Um,
Monday
is
Night
there
Raw's going to 4 p.m.
Monday?
Eastern or
Yes, Monday
Western,
Night Raw on
7 p.m.
Netflix is switching to the 4 p.m. slot as they will try to avoid too much pressure of NFL Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Um, any predictions since you kind of sort of not really a Chargers fan? What's your prediction on their record after week 1?
Yeah, I think the Chargers looked really good in Brazil, beating the Chiefs. I don't think the Chiefs. I don't think the Chiefs are going to be a juggernaut like they have been. I think they're going to struggle. I think they still make the playoffs, but for some reason, and this is no disrespect to the Raiders because I love Pete Carroll.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
uh, I've
Seattle.
said all along. I think Geno Smith is a good quarterback, above average. Like he'll
Right.
get you to the finish line. Whether he can get you across is a different story.
Right.
So he's going to make them competitive. Max Crosby and Jetty, they're doing good things in Vegas. But going into the season last year, right? This is a long-winded way of me saying that I think the Chargers are going to win. But nobody thought the Chargers were going to make the playoffs last year in Harbaugh's first year,
Yeah.
and they made the playoffs. And all of a sudden, going into this year, they're taking a step back. Like, have you guys forgotten who this fucking man is?
Right.
He was at the University of San Diego. He won. He went to Stanford. He won. He went to the Niners, and he's you
Went to
know
the Super Bowl.
went to the Super Bowl and was super close to winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Goes to Michigan, wins a national championship, and now he's back in the NFL. Like,
He's a winner.
have we not? He's a winner. Like, what are you guys paying attention to? So, you know what I mean? Like, why was the projection everybody had this offseason the Broncos, and then you saw what the Broncos fucking looked like on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I do feel that the Chargers are primed to win this division,
Mm.
and so I do feel that Herbert. I mean, I feel like he's good along. He's been good all along, and we've seen what Harbaugh has done with other quarterbacks.
Right.
So there's no way that he's not going to take this guy to the next level. I think Herbert's in for maybe an MVP type season, and
Okay.
I think the Chargers are going to win the division and probably be the number 2 seed behind the Bills.
Okay.
So still a good year.
Fair enough.
So that's my prediction. I'm still going Ravens. Ravens Packers Super Bowl. I think.
Ooh, that's different. I like it. Well, as you know, we are on YouTube. Please make sure that you like and subscribe and make sure that you get these as soon as they drop. So that way, if we do miss a week, you get caught up as soon as the new episode drops. We appreciate your patience. It was a scheduling conflict. It happens from time to time. That's what
Back to
happens.
school night. Back to
Yeah,
school night, baby.
that's what happens when we all have real jobs.
Hey, all 12 of my super awesome kids showed up with their parents. The ones that I don't need to talk to, or the
The
ones
ones
that I
that
got
are
to talk
always
to.
the ones that you don't have to say anything to the parents. They got it handled.
Yeah, yeah. Like, well, how's my kid doing? Like, your kid's fine. Like, get out of here.
Right.
Go home.
Yeah, your kid's awesome. Get the hell out of here. I'm trying
Yeah,
to get home. I got the gym to go to.
yeah. I got a podcast I got to go record, guys. Come on.
That's right. Well, what do you have to tell the people on the way out?
RIP to everybody's favorite wrestler, Tommy Dreamer.
We'll see you next week on another episode of the Grab a Hold podcast.